Hello. So today I'm gonna teach you the Halloween Gambit. Like it's a pretty much popular gambit and it's risky also. So let's see why it's risky and let's see why it's popular also. Okay. So let's go with the Halloween Gambit. Formal e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6. Right. After that, the 4 knight, and then we get the pawn. If opponent captures, we're gonna push him, and if not, we gonna capture the knight, right? And we can continue the game after that. And if opponent captures it, we're gonna push it. He'll take it back. That's the best square maybe. And then go for the d5, right? Attack on this knight. He again comes on this because that's the only safe square. If he goes on this side, maybe that's not the terrible. That's not the good idea. I mean, that's a terrible idea. I can just capture that and now this is isolated, right? So that's not a good idea. Maybe he'll go center. So we're gonna f4 and he go g6, right? We're gonna push the another knight. The knight goes back to the home square. Now we're gonna push it. Now, obviously he'll take it. Otherwise, I'll take the whole center here. It's a terrible opening for the black right now. And position also. So it takes. I'm gonna take again. Now this bishop cannot take this pawn because queen is protecting. Now queen is out for increasing an attack on the pawn. Now we're gonna simply play the b5, knight b5. Right? It protects the pawn, also threatens the fork. If opponent saves the fork like this, then we simply gonna go with the bishop e3. If he go for the a6, we're gonna give him a check, and that's a terrible thing to happen. If he plays something others, right, we're still gonna make there. We'll just simply go with the continuation game. It's still a very good match position for the white and not the black, because black is under development, and we are covering the core of the black, you can say, core center, right, and the weakened square, and the king is moved, so he cannot castle anymore. Okay, and as I say, if he goes with the a6, we can just simply go to the b6. Now it's a check, king moves, again a check, king moves, and we capture the rook. He moves, check, check. So there's a knight windmill, you can say, right? Check. Now he have two choices, to capture with the pawn and capture with the knight. If he captures with the pawn, then he's gonna live maybe, but not for so long. We can just take that bishop, right? Opponent takes the knight, and now we can continue the game. We won the queen already, and now we are piece up also. The next thing he can do is he can take with the knight, but this is a really bad idea, because after that, if I give a check, he have to maybe save it with the knight, or maybe save it with the bishop, right? If we save it with the knight, we're gonna simply take the knight, takes, and we can continue the game from here. And if he saves with the bishop, we're gonna push on the f5, right? Yeah, that's f5. So then after that, the knight will move to the f8, most probably. Yeah, that's a safe square. Maybe he'll move somewhere else, or he can attack the queen. But then I can just simply checkmate the black. So that was a one variation. Let's see, after taking this knight, when you push the d4, he doesn't go on the c6. Instead, he go to the g6. Okay. Now, what we're gonna do in that situation? We can pin. Okay. Opponent goes here. Right. We don't have to push it, and we don't have to let his rook in here. We just have to simply take back to the e3. Right. That's what you can do. And if you don't wanna go and directly attack him, you can push the pawn. He goes back. Then you can develop the bishop here to the c4, and then you can continue again. Hope you like this gambit and you understood it, and maybe you can successfully use it in future. If you like the video, just drop the like button and hit the subscribe button also. Follow us on the Instagram page, Dhyan Academy. Peace out.